Imagine two traders sitting side by side, looking at the exact same chart. One sees an opportunity to prove they're right. The other sees a calculated probability with defined risk. Same market, same moment, but completely different worlds. One approach will drain your account slowly but surely. The other is how professional traders stay in the game for decades. Today, we're uncovering the single most important distinction that separates winners from losers in trading: the gambler approach versus the house approach. Here's a truth that most traders discover too late. Your approach to risk reveals everything about your trading future. The gambler approach is impulsive and emotional. It's driven by feelings, hunches, and the desperate need to be right. Gamblers in trading chase validation. They live and die by each trade's outcome. When they win, they feel like geniuses. When they lose, they feel like failures. Their self-worth rides on every position. The house approach, on the other hand, is methodical and focused on probabilities. Just like a casino doesn't care whether the next hand wins or loses, professional traders focus on the edge their system provides over hundreds of trades. They understand that individual outcomes are noise, but process is everything. Let me paint you a picture of what this looks like in practice. The gambler wakes up and immediately checks their positions. Their heart rate spikes with every price movement. They're constantly refreshing charts, feeling anxious, hoping their trade works out. When a trade goes against them, they hold on, convinced it will turn around because their analysis was right. When a trade goes in their favor, they exit too early, terrified of giving back profits. The house trader follows a completely different rhythm. They execute their plan, set their stops, and walk away. They track statistics: win rate, average win versus average loss, maximum drawdown. Individual trades barely register emotionally because they're thinking in probabilities across dozens or hundreds of setups. They know that their edge plays out over time, not on any single position. Here's what you need to understand. Pay close attention to this because it's critical. Identifying which approach naturally resonates with you is crucial to avoiding internal conflicts. Most traders start as gamblers without even realizing it. They're attracted to trading for the excitement, the potential for quick wins, the validation of being right. But excitement is the enemy of consistency. If you find yourself feeling exhilarated after wins and devastated after losses, you're operating as a gambler. The transition to thinking like the house requires brutal honesty about your motivations. Ask yourself, am I here to be right, or am I here to be profitable? Do I need the emotional rush, or can I embrace the boring consistency of following a proven process? These questions reveal whether you're fighting your natural tendencies or working with them. The beautiful thing is this: once you recognize your natural risk approach, you can deliberately shift toward the house methodology. But first, you must see clearly which path you're currently on. Now let's break down where these approaches succeed and where they catastrophically fail, because understanding the context is everything. The gambler approach can actually work in highly volatile trending markets. When momentum is strong and obvious, impulsive entries in the direction of the trend can produce quick profits. This is why so many traders develop bad habits during bull markets. They confuse a favorable environment with skill. The market rewards their gambler instincts temporarily, reinforcing exactly the wrong lessons. But here's the trap. The moment conditions shift, when volatility drops, when the trend breaks, when markets chop sideways, the gambler approach falls apart spectacularly. Without a systematic framework, these traders give back all their gains and more. They're essentially playing roulette, and eventually, the house edge catches up. The house approach, in contrast, excels in systematic strategies. It shines when you're trading defined setups with clear entry rules, exit rules, and position sizing. This methodology works beautifully when you've backtested your system and understand its expected performance across different market conditions. This is crucial, so let me emphasize it. The house approach transforms trading from a series of hope-based gambles into a business with predictable probabilities. You're no longer hoping each trade works. You're executing a proven process and letting the statistics work in your favor over time. Think of it this way. A casino doesn't need to win every hand of blackjack. They just need a slight edge that plays out over thousands of hands. Your trading system should work the same way. A 55% win rate with proper risk management will make you wealthy over time, but only if you can execute without emotional interference. Here's a real-world illustration of how these approaches diverge. Imagine the market just made a sharp move down, and now there's a potential reversal pattern forming. The gambler sees this and thinks, "This has to bounce. I'm going in heavy because I feel this is the bottom." They enter with oversized position, no stop loss, because they know this will work. If it does work, they feel brilliant and their confidence soars, setting them up for an even bigger loss next time. If it doesn't work, they hold through increasing pain, hoping for a miracle. The house trader sees the same setup and thinks, "This matches my reversal criteria." Based on backtesting, this setup wins 60% of the time with a 2.1 reward to risk ratio. They risk exactly 1% of their capital, place their stop at a technically logical level, and set a profit target based on historical data. Win or lose, this trade is just one execution in a series of hundreds. The outcome matters far less than whether they followed their process correctly. Can you see the difference? One approach is hope and ego. The other is process and probability. One will eventually destroy your account. The other will compound gains over time. So how do you actually apply this distinction to your real trading? Let me give you a practical framework. First, you need to align your risk approach with your psychology. This is non-negotiable. If you're emotionally wired for excitement and struggle with patience, trying to force yourself into a slow, methodical system will create internal conflict that leads to inconsistent decisions. Here's what to do instead. Take an honest inventory of your recent trades. Write down every position from the last month and next to each one. Note whether your entry was based on emotional impulse or systematic criteria. Were you following a predefined rule, or did you feel it was a good time to enter? This exercise reveals your true operational approach, not the one you wish you had. Second, implement what I call the house trader checklist. Before every single trade, you must be able to answer these questions. What is my specific entry criteria, and has it been met? Where is my stop loss, and why is it there? What is my profit target based on historical data? What percentage of my capital am I risking? What is the expected value of this setup over 100 trades? If you cannot answer all 5 questions objectively before entering a trade, you're gambling. Period. This is where most traders fail, so listen carefully. The checklist isn't optional. It's the difference between professional execution and expensive hope. Print it out, put it next to your screen, and refuse to click the buy or sell button until you've gone through it. Third, you need to develop what I call conscious clarity. This means choosing your trading style deliberately, not defaulting to whatever feels comfortable in the moment. Many traders unconsciously switch between approaches. They trade systematically when they're feeling disciplined, but revert to gambling when they're feeling stressed, greedy, or want to recover losses quickly. This inconsistency is deadly because it prevents you from learning what actually works. You can't improve a system if you keep abandoning it. Conscious clarity means making a deliberate choice. I am building a house approach to trading. Then you design your entire process around that commitment. Your trading rules, your position sizing, your review process. Everything aligns with thinking in probabilities, not outcomes. Here's your action plan moving forward. Start by tracking your approach for the next 20 trades. Create a simple spreadsheet with 2 columns, gambler traits and house traits. After each trade, honestly mark which characteristics you displayed. Did you enter impulsively or systematically? Did you move your stop loss emotionally or stick to your plan? Did the outcome affect your mood significantly, or did you remain detached? This awareness is the foundation of transformation. You cannot change what you don't acknowledge. If you found this breakdown valuable, here's what I want you to do. First, subscribe to this channel because we're diving deep into trading psychology every week. And second, comment below and tell me honestly, are you currently trading like a gambler or like the house? Remember this. The market doesn't care about your feelings, your bills, or your dreams. It simply offers probabilities. Your only job is to execute your edge consistently. That's how the house always wins. And that's how you will too.